sort of lost my voice. I was in London on a bit of a heavy weekend. So if you can't, he was not. So I'm going to apologise now. So I'm Danny. I'm one of the script writers. I'm also assistant directing with Gabe on one of the units. I'm also doing costumes and props with Em, who's hiding at the back behind the computer. So I guess you probably all want to know like what the idea is and what you guys are going to be doing. So the inspiration that Em and I have taken, firstly, is from the film Midsummer. So I don't know if anyone here hasn't seen it, but if you haven't, I would recommend like going and giving it a watch. We've also been inspired by some Greek mythology as well. And the idea that we've got is based on a myth about a hunter who came across one of the goddesses sunbathing, saw her naked without her permission, and she then turned him into a stag to be hunted by his own hounds. So the idea we've got is we have two actors, our two male actors are in the room, Kyle and Lawrence, who also get to keep their names for this as well, so you'll enjoy that, who are basically going to be hunted by a pack of women, a pack of girls, who have formed a commune. So they're going to stumble across this commune in the woods. One of them's going to behave fairly inappropriately whilst in the commune, and it turns out that the girls are a cult living within the forest for the goddess, and they're going to hunt them down. One of the boys is also going to get to be burnt on a funeral pyre. Lawrence, I hope you're game for that. We're not going to burn you for real, but your mannequin body.
Method for that one.
If you could, we need some raw anguish screams. But yes, so first off, as long as everyone is kind of game, we've got some kind of slightly wild ideas. We hope it will be really fun though. We're also really game to like get into the mud and water and all the fun with you guys. So we hope firstly that you're all kind of on board and game for doing some fun stuff. Em and I have started writing a script that I think she's going to scroll behind me. There you go, we've started to make it. It's not massively dialogue heavy, I will say that. I think the story is more the ambiance of it.
The visuals, that kind of
It's
thing,
the visuals. We want to make it really kind of visceral, a bit of kind of implied gore as well. But our hope is that you guys will get to just have a lot of fun and kind of go a bit wild, because I don't think, as a woman in film, I don't think you get to see girls going a bit wild, and we mean like feral. Like we want you girls to really have fun with it. So yeah, what are you guys' kind of first thoughts? Have you guys seen Midsummer? Obviously we watched Yellow Jackets. Have you guys kind of seen anything along these lines before? No? Okay, cool, you're all like, oh god, slightly nervous. Which is fair, for sure.
What we do, should we introduce what everyone else is doing?
Yeah, so obviously we've got our teams behind us. So you've got me and Em, who are script, assistant directing, props, costume. We have Gabe and Kirk Waves. These are going to be your two directors.
Unit 1, I'm Unit 1.
Unit 1, Unit 2.
We've got Jake, who is our producer, who's just up there. We've got Guy and Sam, who are directors of photography, they'll be behind cameras. And we've got Lee, who's on sound.
Yeah, and we've got Shannon, who's going to be doing lighting.
Yeah.
So we've got our teams. We've also started writing our characters. And you guys started sending over all of your pictures.
We have a casting list, don't we?
We do have a cast list. If Em wants to try, I think it might be on there. If it's not, I'll send it
Should
out.
Should we discuss the script a bit more?
Yeah, we can do it.
Is the script on the doc?
It's not. I will, because me and Em are going to work through this later today. This is literally kind of a rough skeleton script that we started.
Yeah, that's fine.
But we are going to put it in the chat, so you guys will be able to have a look through.
We could definitely do a read through. I don't see why not.
Yeah.
I haven't printed copies. I guess we could, but yeah, I haven't done a printed copy yet. Because I wrote this on Thursday.
Maybe we print one off and then
Yeah.
just do like a
That'd be perfect.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
Can we do that and print it out?
Yeah, perfect. I mean, we went for like rough old man, but if you can pull that out, we were thinking more Dave.
Maybe, yeah, Dave.
Dave really fits the bill for what I'm looking for here.
Stereotyping.
I know.
You wrote the role.
Very typecast. Sorry, Dave.
Man.
Yes. So, but also, so yeah, we have also got like a filmmaker who's going to be off camera. That is kind of like a prequel, kind of a hint as to what's going on in the forest. We're kind of getting this idea that something kind of unsavoury is going on. So we could scroll past our opening scene, where they're going to get to our two guys in the woods camping. And again, has anyone watched Blair Witch Project? Yes. Like you said, I keep looking at you because you're like, Midsummer, Blair Witch. Yes. So we've got our two guys camping in the woods. Again, yes, your names are Lawrence and Carl, so I guess you probably know who you're going to be playing, unless you want to swap over and take each other's names.
Whoa.
I know, wild, right?
Let's calm down.
So we're going to have them camping, and Lawrence, I don't know you, so don't take it personally, but you're kind of the bad boy of this so far. But yeah, I don't know you personally, so I didn't write it based on you. You're going to find some creepy little wooden dolls in the woods, and you're not going to be very respectful. You're going to burn them on the fire. As you would, if you find some creepy dolls, you're going to burn them.
Dun dun dun, foreshadowing.
Yes. So already, we're not being very respectful. Kyle is a little bit, he's a bit unsure about these creepy dolls, and he's like, he just wanted to go for a hike, he wanted a few beers, he wanted a nice weekend, and Lawrence chose violence, basically. Yeah. Oh, good, I've got this act right.
Got it down.
It only took those 2 minutes of speed dating for me to pick all this up as well, so it's absolutely fine. So we keep going, and Kyle is going to, he's basically like, please don't. They're going to go through the woods, camping, and then they're going to come across basically a commune. And when you guys will show you some pictures of the setting in a minute, but the location is amazing. It feels much bigger than it actually is. It's quite a small space, but it's really cool. So we hope it's going to feel really wild, really untamed. And you girls are basically you're going to be creepy. We want you girls to be fairly, we don't like braids. The idea we've got kind of like natural clothing. You're living in the woods, you're living together, and boys really aren't welcome. But here they are, they're going to come in, they're being brought through. We've got our main girl, Sophrona. She's kind of the leader of this group. She has a right-hand woman, and she's kind of the leader of these girls. And she decides, because they start asking questions, she's going to invite them in. They're going to come in and meet you guys. And as soon as they come in, Lawrence, I'm really sorry. You're a bit creepy with the girls. You come in, you're kind of getting a bit too close. You're talking a bit too much. Carl's like, Guy, I don't want to come in here. This is weird. Like, these girls are living together. I just wanted to go hiking. I don't want to go in. So this is where, as I say, it's not massively dialogue heavy. It's going to be more implied. The girls are uncomfortable, but you get invited for a feast, and this is where we hope things are going to get pretty weird. We're going to have to kind of ask who's comfortable with this. But the idea is that the two guys are brought into, there's a huge hut on site that we hope we can kind of light up with torches, make it feel kind of very wild. And you girls are going to be given this feast that you're going to proceed to rip apart in front of these boys like a pack of animals. And so the idea, has anyone watched Lord of the Rings? Where Denethor is eating, and he's eating tomatoes, and he's like, he's like, I think Ash just says it's like Lord of the Rings, where he spits tomato everywhere. But the idea of you girls, I mean, if anyone's vegan, obviously we're not going to expect you to do this, so please let us know. You can have the tomatoes, so anyone who's not comfortable does not have to partake. But the idea we have as well is having like a chicken and having the girls ripping apart, even just ripping apart bread with their hands, stuffing food into their mouths. And Lawrence thinks this whole thing is fairly funny. He's kind of like, these girls are weird, but I'm kind of into it. Carl's like, these girls are weird, I really just want to go home. So, and then they're going to be given some tea. And again, this is where things get even weirder. So Em has had a really amazing idea of passion flower tea, which is an actual drug. We're not going to give it to you. It'll probably just be like PG tips or something. But they're going to...
Yorkshire.
Yeah, but they're going to drug you. So Kyle and Lawrence, you're going to get to do some really fun, intense drug acting. I'm guessing you probably don't know what's involved there, so
We might need to watch
you might want to
some of
research
that.
some of that, because I'm guessing this is pretty
On
alien
film.
to both of you.
Research films.
Might have to start doing some drugs.
Yeah, there's definitely so, and this is where Kyle is going to be passed out, bless him. He's going to be in this kind of tripping state where he's going to be seeing these girls laying into this food, but he's also going to see, or he thinks he's seeing Lawrence being dragged away, and then there's going to be a big fire with someone inside the fire, but he's, I'm going to say this, if you've ever been under the influence of any kind of substance, and you're not sure if what you're seeing is necessarily real because you're not with it at all.
Very ill.
Yes.
Have the flu.
Yes, feverish. That's what we're going for. So, unfortunately, Lawrence dies. And he passes away, I know.
Well,
But you get a grisly death, so if nothing else, it's memorable.
You go.
And this is where, for Kyle, things are about to also get pretty bad. So he's going to wake up the next day. He's obviously hungover to shit, pardon my language. He's going to be pretty unwell. And the girls are being pretty weird. Lawrence is nowhere to be seen, and he's going to stumble around. Again, There's lots of kind of, it's very like corridors. There's some really creepy looking horrible bathrooms you girls can kind of be hanging out in. The dorms look a little bit like prison cells. So there's some cool shots there. And he's going to find a room full of kind of like backpackers things. So all the other people who have stumbled upon you girls, who have been there in the past and not there. And then he's also going to go and find the fire where Paul Lawrence was, find some of Lawrence's things, and realise he's in kind of big trouble at this point. And this is where you girls are going to get to go full dog, basically, on him. You're going to get to be snarling wild beasts. You're going to hunt Kyle through the forest. See, you really are going to have to be terrified, and you girls are going to have to be like terrifying. And we want you to be, unlike anything you're going to see. You know, usually when you see girls in horror films, they're pretty still, right? They're still like, you know, they're graceful still. We want you guys to be the opposite of that. Yeah, you have turned into full beasts at this point. We want you to really scare the shit out of him while you're filming it. That would be great. You're nodding so much that you're like, yeah, I can do that.
I'm really excited.
Great. And then it gets even weirder. So this is where we've kind of brought the myth into it. So you girls, you're going to converge. There's a big open space, and you're basically going to hunt. I don't know if anyone has ever seen a hunt, but basically the whole point of a hunt is you're basically getting them through the woods to the open so the dogs can gather around the stag, which is what you're going to do. And then you'll gather around him. You're going to place antlers on him, and he's going to have a sacrifice. Ooh. Okay, I feel like I summoned something then as well. I was like, oh god. So you're going to make him into a sacrifice. And there's this incredibly cool rock, and we will show you. We have a photo of Sam, who very helpfully lay on the rock to see if I could kill him on it.
Those are on the chat, aren't they?
Yes, we will add through. Yeah, have a look on the chat. We are. You're going to drag him through onto the rock, and this is where our goddess is going to come out, and you're sacrificing him. We're going to have a bow and arrow. Someone mentioned a blood cannon. Yep. We're going to have a blood cannon, so we're going to really go gory with it. And at this point, you guys will again have to be pretty feral. You're going to be gathered around this rock, watching this boy get stabbed through the face with a bow and arrow. We're not going to show that, it's going to be implied. But eventually, basically, there's no survivors here. The boys aren't going to come out. There's no final boy that's going to survive.
No.
You girls win. And it's implied you get to keep your forest. You're not going to get caught for this. There's no comeuppance. They shouldn't come into your area. So it's a bit about consent as well.
And it wasn't a dream.
It wasn't a dream, yes. They're not going to wake up. He's not going to wake up having a little sleep. He's going to be dead. So that's basically it. That's the idea we're working with. We've got our kind of skeleton scripts that we're going to work on. We've got characters that we can kind of give you guys as well if you wanted to start thinking about your girl. Em and I have done some research, and each character, we've given them like a meaning. They've got a meaning behind their name, which allows, I think, you guys to kind of build a character without too much influence. You can give your character a backstory. Why did she join this cult? Who is she? So hopefully it'll be really fun for you guys. As I say, we're really excited. We're going to be running through the woods with you. We're going to be in mud with you. I'm happy to tear apart chickens with people as well. Like, we want to get our hands dirty. But I guess first and foremost, what do you think? How do you feel about it? Because if anyone's like, please say it, I won't be offended. Yeah, oh, thank you. And that is all I needed to hear. No one else needs to say anything. Thank you. I can see you're super excited. But I can see your face like that, which is really, really nice. I hope for you girls it's going to be a chance to do something just completely out of your comfort zones as well. And also, I hope it's going to be kind of empowering for you girls as well. And I don't mean that. I hope it's going to be really fun to get to like beat the shit out of some boys for a couple of days and chase them through woods and
Amy does that anyway.
get to be feral.
Is there anyone that isn't excited?
Yes, Dave.
Just Dave.
Yeah, I'm not excited.
Thanks, Dave.
Just within the time constraint, what you described is really quite a big thing.
Yes.
So you may need to just, because we only got what, day and a half practically filming.
Yeah, so I think although it sounds like quite big, the scenes themselves are not actually
We've kind of described like
everything.
everything.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right. Yeah, as long as you're aware that. You know,
Yeah.
there is a
It's
time
not. I said
constraint
it's
We are
not.
aware.
Yeah, we've kind of talked about that as a group as well, and how we can kind of tell this story on a smaller scale
think
but make it feel bigger.
I think the problem you're talking about, I think we'll definitely have to face that if like the shot list is too big.
Yes.
Because because we haven't even made we've got ideas for shots.
We've got a scene list. We can also show you. We've broken it down because
we recorded a meeting talking about some of the shots we took at Dartmoor on the reconnaissance meeting about kind of what we would do with this kind of shot. We haven't actually made an official shot list or storyboard yet.
And
So
we have got 2 units, so 2 scenes will be
Two
filmed
shooting, yeah,
at the
okay.
same time.
Just a rule of thumb, as a my hat on with the editor's hat on, 1 minute of TV or broadcast television, that takes about an hour to put together. So if you think of the amount of footage that I have to go through to put 1 minute of telly together, would take me personally about an hour. That's the kind of rule of thumb.
Yeah.
So just think about how much B-roll and stuff you're going to have to get, just to give you the choice.
Gabe is really lucky because he's volunteered also for editing, so you can also think that through. I can't remember who else is editing. Guy. So Guy and Gabe can absolutely think that through.
Okay. So yeah, just think how much footage you're going to have to get.
Make sure that, I mean, do we have someone for carpet yet? Did we say that? Because obviously we need someone to constantly be changing it. So
Yeah, we'll figure that out.
sound and
Yeah. But yeah, Em, do you want to bring up the scene list as well? Because that's got some photos.
It's already on there.
Behind you.
Jesus Christ.